Hi guys, this is Dr. Tammy Stewart here to talk to you about what to do for your hips when they bother you when you start in sitting and you go to standing. So most of us don't just sit, stand all day. Most of us sit for a while, and then when we go to stand, it's like our hips don't want to do that. And we find ourselves going, oh man, okay, and then kind of climbing up our bodies to stand, or we can't quite stand up fully until we kind of get going, and then we can kind of stand up to our full height. So what can we do about that to kind of ease that transition so it's not as achy or pinchy or cranky? So my favorite things are to just kind of start doing what you want to do. So we want to stand up and we want to take steps. So let's just start with just some really gentle stepping in the chair. Now you can do this from a couch, you can do this from a recliner, like chair, whatever. But really what we're doing is just getting the hips lubricated in the joints. So just like a rusty hinge that you've squirted WD-40 in, you gotta like work it a little bit so that it lubricates and it spreads the lubrication all around the hinge. Our hips, our joints in general, but in this case our hips, work very much the same way. When we've been sitting, it kind of like almost saran wraps or shrink wraps down. And we need to get some lubrication fluid in there, and motion is lotion for your joints. So you just march a little bit. And then, now, if your hips are post-surgical, you do not do this. If your hips are not post-surgical, green light. There are certain surgeries where rotating your hips is a no-go for at least 6 weeks. So if you're those people, do not do this. Wait for approval from your doctor. If you are not post-surgical, hip replacements specifically, then you can do this. So swinging a leg in and swinging it out. So you're twisting your thigh bone inwards and outwards with the foot, right? So now we're getting all of this really nice rotation through the hip joint. And same thing, of course, other side. Now, you can totally do these at the same time if you want. That requires a little more core stability and strength to go in together, out together, in together, out together. And you sort of have to cross the ankles. You can cross right over left and then left over right. Takes a bit of coordination as well. Okay, now I can feel my hip muscles activating. I can feel my hip joints moving in there. That's what we want. And then when you go to stand up, they're already lubricated. They're already warm in there. So you shouldn't have to do this, like walk yourself up or this like hobble a little bit before you can stand up. That should at least help with that. Now, there's another thing you can do. If you happen to have a massage gun, this is the one we have here in the clinic. It's Craft Gun brand. I'm a huge fan. There are lots and lots of really great massage guns out there these days, name brand or knockoffs. It matters, but it doesn't matter for the purposes of what we're doing. So the round head on it, because we want to be kind of pointed, but also kind of gentle. So this is a round rubber head. You don't want to use a really pointy one, and you don't really want to use a flat one because it's not really going to get in there. So you turn that on and you go right in the front of the hip, but also around the back of the hip. So if I were in front of the camera, you can see I'm going in the front of the hip here and around to the back of the hip. Now, basically whatever you can get to in that sitting position. The front of the hip I love because that's the part that we want to be able to extend when we stand up and stretch through there. So getting that really kind of shaken up, well lubricated, and getting the muscles to relax is key. So you can always go around to the back, of course, both sides. And even if you're not having hip issues, this just feels really nice. So you can scooch forward in the chair to kind of get yourself a little bit ready. You can straighten out the legs so that your knees drop below the hips. That's an option. That opens up the front of the hips a little bit more. So you want to make sure you're pretty thorough here. And then when you stand up, it should be a lot smoother for you. And that's what we want. So we want you to be able to go from sitting to standing without getting stuck here, without having to walk yourself up, and without pain. So give that a try. Whether you have a massage gun or not is not going to make or break it, but a massage gun is a really nice tool for this. But if you don't have one, just work your range of motion. The rotations, the marching, you can come down, do the same thing, like straight legs. So my knees are straight right now, and then I'm picking them up. You can bring them out to the side, out to the other side. You're really just looking to move your hip joints before you go to stand up. That's the point. You want to get that fluid lubricated in there, and just by moving your joint capsule, it's like the water balloon that holds in your WD-40, that joint capsule also produces your WD-40. So with moving it, it stretches the joint capsule and it's like squirt, squirt, squirt your WD-40 in your joints. So motion is lotion. Even something like this before you get up, it really doesn't matter how you move them, it's just that you do move them. So for my guys with cranky hips, give that a try, see how you feel, and feel free to like, subscribe, follow us, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to work with us in person, we are here in Yelm. So Yelm, Washington. We'd love to see you in person too. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and we will see you again soon.